Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I will be doing another Days of Our Lives recap for September 26, 2024. So we continue with the EJ and Eric saga, right? So EJ is laying into Eric and just gloating about how Holly's on his side and, they're all buddy, friend now. And he's like, I find that hard to believe considering the stunt you pulled and not tell her about what, that Jude was her brother and all that. And he's like, yeah, she was mad at me, but, considering the current events of you and what you and her mother did to her, she forgave me and, we're on better terms. And he's like, I really don't want you nowhere near her. And he's like, you already caused this. You already, caused this to happen. Like your actions caused this for her to become closer to me. So you have nobody to blame but yourself. So he's like, he's still he's like, Hollywood, get over it, she just needs time. And he's like, oh, it's so rich that you are optimistic and positive about this, but it's really majorly misplaced at this point, because Holly, you think that she's gonna forgive you after what you did, taking away her father, and the fact that Nicole just pretended for all these years, just to protect her, but only thing she was doing was just protecting your image as Saint Eric, and you're not really saintly and all that. So it did struck a nerve, and they got up and started tussling, and everybody's looking on them, and Eric is just heated about what EJ said. And Jada had to come in and break them up, and she's like, what's going on? So he's like, I was just minding my business until he started lunging at me, and I want you to press charges and all of that. And she's like, it's not necessary, EJ, just go take a walk, cool off. And he's like, I was here to get Ava's statement. And she's like, I'll handle it, but you need to just go somewhere, cool off, right? So we continue where we left off with Xander and Sarah, right? Because Xander paid this guy to take care of Brady and not have his fingerprints on this whole thing. So Sarah comes over and he's like, Sarah, what you doing here? So she's like, she told Henderson, their butler, to drive the van around so she can track him down, and she did. And he's like, I thought you were doing your physical therapy. She's like, I thought you were dealing with Titan business. What you doing here in this deserted park? Like, what's your reason? So he's like, he still want to maintain his business, but then she did wear him down to the point where he said, listen, like, I can't believe you are being super positive about what Brady did. And she's like, she's just trying to move forward, but it doesn't take away from the fact that she's angry at Brady for what he did, and she thinks his actions are stupid and unconscionable, but she doesn't want to see him killed. And she's begging and pleading with Xander, telling Xander that he's not the same man that he used to be. And he's like, listen, I have to be angry for both of us. Like, aren't you angry at him? Don't you want to see him get paid? Like, the justice system is a joke. Like, I have to take it into my own hands. And she's really against it, as obviously expected with Sarah Harton. But she's trying to just talk some sense into him, let him down easily. And he told her that, listen, it won't get tied to me because I'm not the one doing the crime. Like, Brady's going to take the gun and actually kill himself. So I don't know how that's gonna play out. We'll talk about that later on, if this is really gonna pull through. But yeah, Sarah is not feeling it, and Xander is at this point where he just want to see Brady suffer, like how Sarah's suffering right now in the wheelchair. And she's like, she's trying to get used to the new normal, but she's like, she wants Xander to be there for both of them. She don't want to lose him, right? So speaking of Brady, the strange man that Xander hired, right? He claims to say that he's also part of the AA meeting, and he always sees Brady all the time. He called himself like Brian Jones, and he said he's always in there with a baseball cap on, and he hears, you always hear when Brady talks, and he remembers when Brady was talking about his son and the whole drug charges back in the day, and he's glad that he's all good. And he said that, I heard that you were wrapped up in this hit and run case, and he said, yeah, whatever. So at some point, he's like, we should have some coffee, catch up. And then he shakes his hand and something pricked Brady. And he's like, what just pricked me a while ago? So he's like, maybe it's my ring. It's really sharp. So he's like, okay, next time I won't shake again and all that. So I don't know if it's a drug or something. I don't know what pricked him, but he started acting really, real weird after that. So we go back to Holly, right? So Tate catches Holly going into his father's room, looking through his briefcase or something, right? So she make up this lame excuse that, okay, I got lost. I didn't know where the bathroom was. I thought it wasn't here. Making up this lame, stupid excuse. So he's like, what are you really looking for in here? Like, why are you going through my dad's briefcase? So he's like, she's trying to find something connected to the hit and run case, see if there's anything linking to Brady. And he's like, why would you even go through that? That's an invasion of his privacy. And she's like, listen, like, I want him to pay for what he did to my Aunt Sarah. And he's like, he gets that. But at the same time, like, he also has to be happy for his dad being here because, like, his mom is already in jail. So he's trying to make Holly understand that, okay, he can't lose his father too, and she understands that to an extent, but at the same time, she still believes he should pay, and she's not. She has no regrets about that. They did apologize for a little bit, but then they start talking about both of their mothers and how at least Holly has her mom. He doesn't have his mom, so she's like, my mom is in Paris. Like, what you talking about? So he's like, listen, like, I mean, I get that you're going through a hard time, but I'm also going through a hard time. Like, I could be an orphan, if my dad also went to jail. Like, I can't negate the fact that, okay, he's here and I'm happy about that. And she's like, I'm not happy about it and I want to see him pay. So he's like, listen, this was all you came over here for. You wasn't here to spend time with me. So she's like, don't say that, I just really trying to bring justice to my aunt. Like, EJ thinks that way too. So it's like, you're working with EJ, did he send you over here? So she's like, no, he doesn't know and he doesn't want me to, but I'm helping. So he's like, of all the people, EJ, he does not like my dad and he wants to see him suffer. So she's like, she has no apologies for that. So he's like, you know what, you need to go. So Holly ends up leaving and she sees EJ in the square and he hugs her because she's obviously going through a tough time. They go back to their mansion and, he asks her, what's going on? Why are you so sad? So she said, Tate and I had a big argument and, he caught me snooping around in his dad's room for evidence. And he's like, oh boy, I wasn't expecting that. But she's like, listen, like, I just want to prove that he's guilty. I need to see him pay. Like, and he's like, he understands that he's doing his very best to make sure that happens, not just for justice, but just to make Holly feel a little bit better. And she's like, I'm glad you're supporting me through all this. And I really just don't feel like, Tate is for me. Like, we're always arguing, our families don't get along. It's just, I don't think we're gonna make it. So he's like, listen, Tate is a smart guy. He already know that his father is guilty, and he knows this is it's no short time before he gets locked up for what he really did. So I'm gonna make sure that happens. So we go to this unlikely pairing of Sophia and Fiona, right? Very unusual, unlikely pairing. So Fiona is there, she's having her drink, dessert, whatever, and Sophia is there on her shift. She asks her if she needs anything else, so she's like, no, I'm good. So she's clocking out. So she's like, why don't you join me? Which I found really weird. But anyway, she sit down and join her and she's having dessert, talking just about life, what she's doing with herself. And she said that, her parents wanted her to become a doctor, just a social settings and all that. And she's like, so what do you do for fun? So she was telling her not really much. So she's like, don't you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or something? So she's like, no, but I really like this guy, but he's with somebody else, and I just feel like they're not right for each other. Their families are at war with each other, and I just don't feel like they're really meant for each other. So she's pining after somebody that really doesn't really see her, but she feels like she can give him the love he deserves and all of that, right? So Fiona gave her a word of advice just to really move forward with herself, just really let go of that, right? But I don't think Sophia is gonna really let go of that anytime soon. She just feel like Holly doesn't deserve him and all that, and she feel like she's the one for him. But oh boy, here we go. So Brady comes home and he is looking, really haggard. Tate comes out and, Tate is like, Dad, what's happening to you? Are you drunk again? So he's slurring his words. He's like, no, I'm not drunk. And he's like, oh my gosh, man. Because he's really tired of seeing his dad like that. So he nearly stumbled and he had to bring him to bed, to sleep it off. And he just kept mumbling his words. And Tate's like, I hope you didn't drive and hit nobody. So he's like, no, I took a taxi or something like that, right? So he dozed off and Tate just leaves, right? Because at that point, Xander is going over there, I don't know, to finish a job or something, but he waits until Tate leaves and then he uses a card to get in real easily, right? So Tate's in the square and Sophia comes off, or I guess she's off her shift. So she's like, Tate, what's wrong and all that. So he's like, nothing is really right. Me and Holly had a huge disagreement and she's like, I'm here for you. Tell me what's wrong, trying to comfort him. So I'm like, oh, dear God. This is going to end up really stupid where, Tate is going to fall for it and he's going to, they're going to do something together. That's how it's like leaning towards. What do you guys think? So we go back to Jada and Eric, right? So Jada took Ava's statement and come downstairs. And before that, she was asking Eric what's up with that. And he's like, EJ is, just messing up things with me and trying to get back in good graces with Holly. But I believe, he's succeeding because he has all the ammunition. Because, again, you were the reason why this has happened. So you have nobody to blame but yourself, Eric. So anyways, Jada gets a call from Sarah. And Sarah's like, this is very important. I need your assistance on it. So it's probably something to do with Xander. So we go to Fiona and Sarah, right? So Fiona comes in. She says she was checking on Victoria and Victoria's sleeping like an angel. Is there anything I can do for you? So she's like, not really, but I think you need to know what's happening with your son. So speaking of Xander's in Brady's room and he has the gun. So he's like, you need to pay for what you did to my dear Sarah. And hopefully you'll feel the same pain, right? So he's like, all right, he's going to put the gun in Brady's hand. Apparently it's for Brady to actually kill himself. Because he, the guy, the henchman that he hired, he actually, when he shake his hand, I think there was a drug, something that pricked his hand. Maybe it was a drug. So that's why Brady is acting how he was acting earlier, right? So let's see a clip of this.
Let's put this gun in your hand and pull the trigger. Brady, our only regret is that you won't feel the pain. Or no, the torment that you inflict.
So before this could go off without a hitch, which we knew this was going to happen because Sarah called Jada, right? Jada knocks at the door asking for Brady and she opens the door. She's like, what are you doing here? So he's like, I'm just here to offer Brady some support. And he's like, what are you doing here? So she's like, I got a call from Sarah with some very interesting information, right? So, of course, it has something to do with him. So, let's see how this turns out tomorrow. I will show you guys a clip of what happened. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow for the end of Daysofourlives recap. Bye.
What's going on here?
I came by to offer Brady my support. I've had him all passed out like this. What are you doing?
I just got a call from Sarah.
Sarah called you?
Yeah. Some rather shocking information.